Welcome to the Ultimate Pistol Assessment, where today we're looking at the OA Defense Compact Pro Pistol. OA Defense, formerly known as Oracle Arms, introduced this model of pistol earlier this year, and I decided to pick one up. A couple of added features to this. One is it's more compact in size, and also you can have some options added like a ported barrel. So we went ahead and did that, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to do an in-depth pistol assessment on this new product from OA Defense. Okay, let's cover off on some of the specs and get that out of the way. The package that I ordered is what's called the Plus Kit, and it includes a what they call a OA 2311, which is this pistol model, Compact Pro. It does come with a full-size magwell pre-installed. You have an option to get a compact magwell if you like. They also include 5 17-round magazines. These are really similar magazines to the Sig P320, which we'll talk about in just a bit. They also include some slide plates for your optic. One is, of course, the iron sight cover plate that comes with it. You have an RMR, Delta Point Pro, Holosun K, and RMSC footprint. And there's also some nice sights. It's a what they call the night vision tritium night sight, standard height installed with suppressor height front sight included for use with your Delta Point Pro optic plate. Obviously, it comes shipped in a really nice range bag by Savior Equipment. This is chambered in 9mm, has a 4 1/4 length barrel. Basically, it's about 7.75 inches in length. The weight unloaded is about 25 ounces. The trigger weight, at least the pull, is anywhere from 3.5 to 4 pounds, is what they say. And the capacity is 17 rounds. And of course, you can have one in the chamber. It's an aluminum frame in terms of the slide and some of the frame elements, and then the grip and things like that is made out of a polymer. And in this version of the pistol, it's a gray polymer, where the model they came out with last year was black. Okay, so why did I decide to purchase a brand new pistol from a brand new company? The first thing that attracted me to this pistol was just the design. I thought it was a really modern, sleek looking design. I really like that. I tend to be attracted more by aesthetics. The concept of it is where they take a 2311 and sort of merge it with some of the best features and attributes of a polymer pistol, much like the Sig P320. And in fact, many have said that this pistol is what would happen if a Staccato and a Sig P320 sort of met up and had some offspring. It would be the OA Defense Compact Pro. And they call theirs a 2311. So in general, it's sort of a mashup of the best of the 2011 and, again, the polymer pistols that you can find out there on the market. In this case, they went sort of with the Sig P320 footprint and sort of came up with this. And I thought it was a really good looking pistol. I decided to wait for the Compact Pro. I wanted to get something smaller in size. You also had some options, to get the barrel ported. They added some really nice features here, such as, ledges on sort of both sides. And, just again, the overall shape and the compactness of the pistol is what really attracted me to this in the first place. It is not an inexpensive pistol by any stretch of the imagination. As I have it configured here, the retail price is just under $2,400. So a very expensive pistol. One of the questions we have to ask ourselves, is it worth it? And is the quality there? So the goal today is to do an in-depth pistol assessment. That's where I try to take the pistol through a series of 9 criteria where we look at it in depth across these 9 factors and give it a score between 1 and 5. And, come up with a final score at the end. The nice thing is, I'm just a vlogger. I'm not an influencer. I don't get paid for any of this. This is a pistol I purchased with my own hard-earned money. I want to give you a really honest assessment of the pistol, its performance, its value for the dollar, its overall quality, and, sort of let you be the judge if it's something that might be in consideration for you, or if you don't think that the value is really there. So that's our goal for today. And then I'm going to go ahead and cover off what the 9 criteria are. Okay, the 9 criteria that we're going to be looking at today. 1, ergonomics. And so How does the grip feel? How does the safety work? The overall balance, the texture, the in terms of the grip, the weight, the sights, the ambi capability. How does all that rate? I just call that a general ergonomic score. The next thing we'll look into is trigger. How's the reset? What's the wall? Is there a lot of mush? Single action, double action. In this case, it's a single action only. How good is the trigger? We'll also look at accuracy. Again, with accuracy, there's no way that I can do a mechanical accuracy assessment. I'm just not set up for that. So we'll do maybe some perceived accuracy. We'll look at some targets and some groupings from maybe 3 feet and 15 feet. We'll look at the tightness of that and see just in general the overall accuracy. A lot of that's going to be dependent upon me. So we'll take that with a grain of salt, but just to get a general sense. And then quality. Were there any quality issues that I observe with the pistol? If I did have any, how was the customer service experience? What can you expect? And then reliability. Did we have any malfunctions during this assessment? Are there any rumblings on the internet about any reliability issues? And then we'll take a look at the manual of operations. How does everything work together? I think maybe the best way to do that is to do sort of a 1 round reload, one round, sort of time it, and just see how everything works together just to get a general feel. And then the wow factor, this is really a personal opinion. It's very subjective. How cool or how awesome is this firearm? And then we'll look at affordability, market price, the subjective perception of the value for the dollar. Do we think that it's affordable for what you get? And again, that'll be my point of view, but hopefully you can, come up with your own point of view based on all the assessment work that we do here. So that's the general pistol assessment that we'll take the handgun through today. And let's get started. Okay, again, we've got a safe and clear handgun here. Talking about the ergonomics, I think overall the ergonomics are actually really, really good on it. The grip, I actually like the grip, but for those of you that like a more aggressive grip, I don't think this is going to be aggressive enough. But for me, I actually like it. Feels good in the hand. I've got really small hands, so this thing feels pretty good to me. Maybe a little wide for my small hands, but in comparison to the staccato, I'm able to grip this thing really, really nicely. The slide release is sort of extruded. It doesn't interfere with the operations from what I found. You can also switch your slide release over to the opposite side. So great ambi capability there if you like it. This is an extended magwell. I like it because my pinky can sort of, rest right on the edge. It really makes it easy to get a mag in. One of the great things is the safety. Safety feels so good. Maybe just a touch smaller than the Staccato P, but it feels really good. You can rest your thumb on it. And then they've added these ledges on either side. So again, really strong ambi here, but they've added these ledges. There's a little bit of texture, but you can really sort of lock up, get a nice lock up on that, and feels really great in the hand. Pick rail, you can add a light. Again, the tritium sight here. Looks really, really good. No complaints on the side. I did add a Holosun 507C to the firearm. There's a ambidextrous slide catch over on the left-hand side. You've got ambi safety. So from an ambi standpoint, really, really solid. Overall, you've got some grip textures down on the bottom here. Feels good against the trigger well. Again, your fingers are able to get in, maybe slightly small for some of you that live in the colder climates. That's something I don't have to worry about here. And really nice aggressive serrations on the slide. So you can really get a good grip. You're not going to have any problems there. So overall, ergonomics, really well done, very nicely designed. I'm going to give it a 4.5. Okay, safe and clear handgun. All right, let's take a listen to this trigger. You put your finger right on the trigger, you are at the wall immediately. Really crisp break. Slight travel to the return and reset. Pretty clean on that reset. Yeah, maybe a touch gritty going back into reset, but really clean, crisp. Got zero complaints with the trigger. I think the trigger is, again, the strongest feature on the handgun. Nice high performance trigger. They say about a 3.5 pull on this thing, 3.5 pound pull. Feels about right, but man, if you want to go fast, I think this is the handgun for you. So I want to give this trigger from an assessment score 4.75. Okay, we'll look to do accuracy. Again, this will be more practical accuracy versus mechanical accuracy. So we've got, we're here at probably the 10-foot mark. We'll put 5 rounds down into the target. We'll focus on the A zone. We'll score maybe 5 points for every A zone hit. We'll subtract 3 points for everything that's outside of that. And we'll also do the assessment at the 45-foot mark. All right, let's try to put 5 at A zone. We'll score each A zone hit 5 points. Anything outside of the A zone to make it fun, we'll subtract 3 points. All right. Okay, I think I painted these things probably too much. I think I put 2 rounds sort of in the same spot, I think. But anyway, 1, 2, 3, and I think 4, 5. So everything went A zone again from 3 feet. Nothing to be surprised of there. We'll try to paint these over and go back to 45 feet and see how we do from there. Okay, we're at the 45-foot mark. Again, we'll try to put 5 rounds down and see how we score there. A little over bright here. And my phone's crapping out because of the heat. It's a little warm out here. All right, so again, given some of the shitty shooting by yours truly, but it looks like we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Both of these are on the line. I think we'll score those full points. So again, 45 feet and 3 feet. I think there's solid practical accuracy with this firearm. Again, skill of shooter, I'm sure many of you would be able to do much, much better. And just for fun, I think I'll try to do another group here. I had that sun come in right into my eyes as it's setting behind the hill behind us. Okay, I had a prior shot here. I just had 1 round, and so I won't count that one. So we got 1 on the line, 2, 3, 4, 5. So not too bad. Again, 45 feet, just 5 shots, practical accuracy. Again, I think this is solid for the gun. How do I rate it? I would say for practical accuracy, we will give it a 3, above average. I mean, I don't think it meets or beats anything else that's out there. Okay, now we'll try to get an assessment on recoil. We'll try to do a build drill for both 45 feet and from about 45 feet and about 9 to 10 feet. Okay, so we'll stay at the 45-foot mark and we'll just fire off 6 shots, rapid succession. Here's the target. Looks like I broke one down here low. Again, we got 1 on the line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 in the A zone. I think that's 1 right outside of the A zone. So we've got 6 points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 20 minus 6, 14 points at the 45 foot. And again, skill of shooter, not the greatest build drill guy. You can see it was pretty slow, but again, overall, I'd say, nothing out of sorts here. Okay, we'll continue our recoil assessment. Here's at about 10 feet. Just try to get 6 shots, rapid succession into the A zone. Okay, so here we go. I think I stacked maybe 2 there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know if I fired 5, maybe I fired 6, but in general, I'd say that gives you a good sense of the recoil there. I felt the recoil is pretty soft recoiling to me, really soft. So I'm going to say probably an above average recoil score of 4. Okay, quality. This is probably my biggest area of concern, to be honest. Again, I'm not a paid influencer. I don't make my living on YouTube. Um, I buy every handgun with my own money. And so when manufacturers ship me a gun, they're not shipping me a gun that they know 100% works. And unfortunately, as you can see from one of my earlier videos, I had this fantastic unboxing experience. I mean, beautiful. Like, 5 magazines are included. Beautiful box, beautiful gun from my point of view. Everything was perfect. I was so stoked, and I'm going to run some B-roll now. So stoked to go to the range. This is the very first shots that I had with this thing, and as you can see, a lot of failure to feed issues. I went out the next day and was, contacted the company. There's a great customer service guy there named Ian. Really took care of me through the whole process. And again, part of my thing is I have a rule where I don't like to buy first gen anything, and I broke that rule here. So part of me, I was expecting some issues. And again, I like to work with the manufacturer as much as possible to resolve the issues in like a timely manner. Nothing's perfect, but long story short, I wound up sending the gun back, and literally, about 4 days later, I got it back. So very quick turnaround. They mentioned that they had to polish the feed ramp. They replaced the spring. And since that time, I haven't had any observable issues. But again, just that initial experience at a $2,400 price point, I have a feeling, as with most new companies, they're in a rush to get product out. They got to get that cash flow starting to come in. This is an area that I would say be aware. And if you do buy it, again, my experience, there were some issues that I had to overcome.
Yeah, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but you can see there's spaces, some gap in terms of the mounting bracket that was included with the package. And again, you can see that there's just, some gap and some light. It's not really a flush mount. When you look at the mount, or rather the hollow sun into the mount itself, the screws that were supplied by OA actually created more gap between the optic and the slide mount. When I use the smaller screws from Hollow Sun, it actually tightened that up so I don't have light passing through. The downside with that is it's a pretty shallow bite. So I'm just worried that that optic's going to come off at some point. Only time will tell, but definitely you can see, that light coming through from the pistol to the optic mount itself.
Okay, here's the staccato P. And again, there are no gaps. There's no gaps from the optic to the mount. There's no gaps from the mount to the frame. I mean, you can't see any light or anything like that coming through on the staccato. Again, here's the Shadow 2 Compact. And again, very similar to the staccato. There are no light. There's no gaps from the mount to the frame, from the optic to the mount. I mean, nothing. The second thing you can see is I have some nits with, the optic mount and the light coming through that. The slide's not locking back they lock back after I'm through shooting, but when I put in a slide and I go to lock it back, it doesn't lock back. So just little tiny nits, again, at this price point, that shouldn't be. The other thing from a quality standpoint, and I'll show you some photos here, is when I broke it down, to me, some of the finish inside of the slide is starting to wear off. And again, not an overly big deal. It's something that you really can't see from a cosmetic, but does that mean that finish is going to start wearing off at a accelerated rate in other parts of the gun? And again, it takes a while to wear in. I mean, all in all, this gun's like brand new, and there's finish is already wearing off from just a little bit of use. So yes, things will wear off as metal meets metal, but again, this to me is, from my experience, is just very accelerated. So I'm a little concerned about that, but again, not really a big deal for me. I did let the company know. All in all, the company was really good to work with. They really are very customer centric and trying to overcome the issues. So I have a feeling they know what some of the issues are. I have a feeling they're pretty busy on that front. And again, I think it's a rush to get product out. So from my point of view, the quality side is an area that I do have some concern with. I want to give them a score of 2 for quality. I mean, the gun functions, everything sort of works, but I had to go through some hoops to sort of get that to happen. Hey again, a safe and clear handgun. Reliability, I've filmed additional B-roll. So all in all today, we put, I'd say about, 120, maybe 130 rounds through it, had no malfunctions whatsoever. So reliability, I'm going to give it an above average score, but again, I think that's to be expected at this price point. So I'm going to give it a 3 for the reliability score. Again, no observed malfunctions during the assessment period. Okay, we'll try to do just a general assessment of the manual of operations, just to get a general sense on how we can operate the gun. We'll do like a 1 round reload and then 1 round, just sort of see what that gets us. I don't have a holster. These things are still very new, so holsters are a little bit difficult to come by. Okay, about 6.82 seconds. We'll do it one more time. Okay, we'll try it again here. And that was about 6.5. So, certainly I'm reaching into my pocket. I don't have proper equipment. I don't have a holster. But I'd say, for me, I did have to break grip a little bit. Again, I've got small hands. I had to break grip a little bit, but luckily this extended mag release was really nice. So again, nothing out of the ordinary here. I'm going to give the overall manual of arms slightly above average, maybe 3.5. Okay, talk about wow factor. Again, wow factor for me is probably what really made me decide to buy this firearm. Is I just said, wow, this is great. It's taking the best of sort of the striker fire world and the polymer world and bringing it into the best of the 2011 world. I'm sort of intrigued by that. And the overall design, I think, of this firearm is just really, really nice. It's a good looking firearm. Something that I really like. Aesthetics do matter to me. Design does matter to me, and I think they've done, a really good job here. So from a wow factor, I'm going to give it an above average score of 4. Affordability, here we get. So the gun is configured because I did go ahead and get the extra porting and the plus kit with the extended magwell and all sort of the bells and whistles. The retail price was just under $2,400 by like $1. So it's a $2,400 handgun. And, again, affordability is very subjective. When I got my Staccato P, I paid a lot more than that for it. But I got to tell you, my experience has been, you sort of get what you pay for. My issue with this is if maybe I didn't have all these initial experience issues, the initial quality issues or quality concerns, I would say from my point of view, it would probably be justified. But with those concerns coming into play, affordability, I wonder if I didn't just overpay for a gun that, can potentially develop additional problems down the road. So that's a concern that I have. That's a perception. So the affordability, I want to put below average of a 2. Overall, we get a score of about 30.75, making this a really interesting pistol. I think there's some caution with it because it is so new, because of some of the quality issues that I've seen. Buy with caution is what I would say. Expect some issues you're going to have to work through. The company does seem to be very earnest in working with you to get these issues resolved. So I'll say that is a very strong positive. But again, just be careful. I think the recoil management, again, with these ports, with the ledges, with the overall grip, the overall handling, I think this is a soft recoiling firearm. I really like that aspect of it. The trigger, it's like right up there. Is it as good as a Staccato? If it's not, it's just under. But I'd say from my limited, I'm not a trigger snob in any sense of the word. I'd say it's very close to being as good, and I would hold my Staccato P as sort of the pinnacle, and I think this is right up there. So the ergonomics on this thing are fantastic. If you're a left-handed shooter, I think you're going to love it. Overall, the ergonomics, again, with the ledges, the safety feels super solid. It's fantastic. You know, it was one of the issues I have with the Shadow 2 Compact. Even though I replaced the safety, it's still not that really sort of, you know, positive feedback. This thing is really nice, you know, safety. You know, is it as nice as a Staccato? No, but for what it is, again, blending these two worlds of polymer striker fired and 2011 together, I think they've done a really good job. Design is superb, good looking firearm. Again, you know, I think affordability standpoint, is it worth it? I don't know. I've got my concerns based on the quality issues that I've experienced. So again, all in all, really cool firearm. Hopefully I'll have good luck going forward and I'll enjoy this thing for many years. But my recommendation to you is, again, if you do want it, you do go after it, just proceed with caution. Maybe you want to wait a little bit on the market and let them work some of their problems through, get that stuff sort of settled. Might be something to think about. Anyway, all in all, pistol assessment for the OA Defense Compact Pro. And again, this is with the Plus kit and the porting and things like that.